Ministry releasing video showing airstrikes destroying oil tanker trucks it says were being used by the ISIS terror group. Russia, France, and the U.S. also have been hammering the terror group's capital city, so-called capital city of Raqqa, with dozens of airstrikes in the past few days. The uptick in airstrikes comes as many are calling for the United States to strengthen its military strategy against ISIS. Our senior international correspondent, Nick Payton-Walsh, is joining us now. He's inside Syria. Nick, from your vantage point, you're on the scene there. What are you seeing?
Well, there has clearly been a substantial uptick, as you mentioned, over Raqqa, and that persists until tonight. In the last hours, in fact, activists in Raqqa slaughtered silently, are again reporting airstrikes in that city, as they were during the day. We don't know the total numbers at this stage, but we do know that last night was the first time they said that in an attack on a fuel truck, 7 people were killed. A different group of activists, and that was in fact 6. That is the first civilian casualties we're hearing from this uptick in airstrikes, but at the same time we don't know who's bombing what. We do know the Russians have said they will go after fuel trucks in that area too. They've also been targets, frankly, of the coalition of French, so quite who's behind those civilian casualties unclear at this stage. But eyewitnesses, even tens of kilometers away from Raqqa today, reporting the sound, the rumbling, incessant rumbling, 20 thuds, lengthy deep booms in about 20 minutes at least, heard at about 3 o'clock this afternoon, eyewitnesses who spoke to said. So definitely Raqqa palpably under strain. There are some activists who say that that has caused the leadership to flee towards Mosul in Iraq, others denying that. So hard to tell what the precise reaction on the ground is. We know the French talk about targeting command and recruitment and training centres there, and we know many are also asking quite how many targets have suddenly come hoved into view in the past few days that weren't hit in the months of airstrikes the US put together in the past. But still civilians inside that city, still definitely ISIS preventing their movement out, and fears that this is just the beginning, Wolf.
It looks like they're stepping up, at least in recent weeks, not just since the Paris attacks, strikes against the oil that ISIS is trying to sell. A lot of their money, and they're making a lot of money. They've stolen oil fields in Iraq, and they're using these tankers to take oil fields. They're even selling some of this oil clandestinely to the government in Damascus, that according to the U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry. So they're really going after the oil transport right now, aren't they?
Yes, and most notably, 3 nights ago, 116 explosions targeting a number of oil trucks, which, in fact, the US says they leafleted from the skies beforehand, saying, look, we're not after you drivers, we're after your trucks. And apparently many fled, and those machines were then destroyed. But it's a fundamental part of their revenue gathering here. There have been estimates suggesting they were getting in as much as several million a month from selling oil on the black market here. Lengthy American accusation, reiteration, in fact, by Turkish state news today that is often sold to the Syrian government, who've had for a lengthy period of time a complicated relationship with ISIS. Many suggesting, in fact, they allowed some of the hardcore jihadists who made the nucleus of ISIS out of jail early on. Well, very little proof to back that up, but still a general feeling that the regime haven't been attacking ISIS as hard as they can. But across the swathes of northern Syria, you just have to see it. The oil industry here is a fundamental part of the black economy, and particularly given the volumes in which it's generated in Iraq, clearly at this stage ISIS still trying to make money from that, Wolf.
Nick Payton-Walsh in Syria, inside Syria for us. Nick, be careful over there. We'll stay in close touch with you. Thanks very much.